Listen, we're going to start with a game from last night, of course, Chelsea. Oof. Now, I heard the Sports Bar. I watched actually a bit of the Sports Bar on YouTube last night. It was very funny. It did make me laugh. Jason Cundy, understandably, what's the word? Devastated that his team were as poor as they were. Let's start with getting your views on another defensive player coming into the club. £70 million for Fofana. This is what surprised me when I read the deal. Not so much how much they've paid. I still think it's an extortionate amount of money for someone that's only played a handful of games. What is he? 43 games I think he's played so far. 37 league appearances, which is not a lot, right? I know he's had, broke his leg. I get that. A 7-year deal. Is that a lot? Is that madness? A 7-year deal in this day and age?
Well, I remember Spurs used to give it the 5+1, didn't they? The option in their favour. So that's a 6-year deal, effectively.
Yeah.
But no, 7-year deal. I get it. They believe in him. They're securing their kind of future for the long term in case they get to the situation they have had with Rudiger and Christensen, where suddenly in one transfer window, one summer, they find themselves with 2 centre half down. So I can understand that. I'm a big fan of his. It is an awful lot of money, by the way. An awful lot of money, and for me, Thomas Tuchel's running out of excuses. He questioned the mentality of these players, and I understand that. But he were the ones that brought these players in. He's pretty much been given a war chest the moment he's arrived in the door.
250, 247?
I think he's at 247 in this window, but I think in total he's at 311 million. 311.6 million. I know you can kind of scale it back because they have sold a lot of money, so I think it's probably about. I think the difference is about 176 million that he's been given, if you take into account the minuses of the players have sold.
Yeah.
But he's been given 311 million to spend.
And they look worse now.
But even some of the signings, like Mark Correa, I think Danny Murphy was talking about it.
I saw that this morning.
About did they really need another left-sided player? They probably
got Alonso and Chilwell. So
I think they probably did in that regard, because Chilwell's come off the back of a long injury and Alonso is desperate to get out. So you don't know where his mental state's at. So I get that. Raheem Sterling.
Hold on, do you get that and the amount he cost?
I mean, the amount he cost is irrelevant now. There's no point even questioning that.
Okay.
Then you go Raheem Sterling, good signing. Knows what he's doing, scored over 100 Premier League goals. He's a winner.
But only a good signing if you're not relying on him as your number 9.
Well, he's getting goals now.
Without a doubt. And he took his goal brilliantly yesterday as well.
Is it a bit of form? Koulibaly needed a centre-half, 35 million. He's 33 years old.
Question marks?
A little bit of question marks. Fofana, 75 million. So they have spent, as I said, in this window is ridiculous. 247 million. That's nearly 50 million more than any other team, which is crazy. So the fact that they seem to be going backwards it's warning signs for me.
I can't also understand why a club as big as Chelsea have got 2 recognised number 9s, Brozier, right, and also Batshuayi, who's on loan at, I think, Besiktas at the moment.
The Batshuayi one, they need to move on from that.
I know, but they're the only 2.
But
I find that nuts.
Yeah, but you start looking around the Premier League and take Manchester City. I know they're a freak of an example.
Yeah, they are.
But for long periods, when Aguero left, they had Gabriel Jesus, and even then, Pep didn't really look at him as a recognised number 9. He played wide a lot of the time.
No, but they were winning Premier League, so whatever they were doing was working.
But what I'm saying is it does work.
Right.
It can work. Even at Liverpool, you have to say, I know Divock Origi is gone, but he didn't really get that much game time. There's Bobby Firmino now, and now they've got Darwin Núñez. But even for large spells at times, they didn't play with a recognised centre-forward. It was Mane down the middle. But I think for Chelsea, I get it, Kai Havertz plays down the middle, Sterling, Hakim Ziyech on the left, or Mason Mount on one of the wings. For me, they need to go and get a centre-forward. Now, Anthony Gordon, great young talent. The way he started off this season has been on fire. I can understand the hype. But this is Chelsea, again, spending money in an area they don't need to spend money in. You know what I mean? If they want to go and spend the money, save the 60 million, add a bit more on, either go and get Declan Rice, because they need another midfield player, because they're down to bare bones, add another 60 million on top of that, 120 might prize him away from West Ham, or go and get a centre-forward. That's what they need to do. They don't need another Anthony Gordon. And again, that's no disrespect to him, because he's a fantastic young player, but he doesn't go into Chelsea and all of a sudden make them title contenders. They need to fix other areas first.
We're going to take calls from Chelsea fans in just a moment. Will any of them want the manager out? They've had games against Everton, Spurs, Leeds, Leicester and Saints. They're currently 8th after 5 games. 5 points off Arsenal. Could be 8 points off top spot tonight if you win.
No, I don't think any will want him out, but I think a couple maybe are questioning him a little bit. I wouldn't say they want him out, definitely, but I think he needs to turn things around. And when you start looking at his run, you look at the Champions League, he's won the Champions League and the Club World Cup. He's lost a lot of finals, by the way. 3 finals, 2 last season, the 1 to Leicester the season before. I think the question marks are starting to raise a little bit.
Okay.